Hi my lovelies, welcome back to my channel, and for everybody who is new, I'm Leorah and I'm so glad you found me. So welcome to today's video, which is going to be a sort of review of the Velvet Dances palette from Makeup Maniacs Cosmetics. Now, I had filmed this, I had filmed it all, and everything got corrupted. The whole file of the videos and all of that, the whole thing got corrupted together with two other videos that I had filmed. Very, very upsetting. So now I cannot go back and recreate looks, and I just cannot, because I'm super busy and I have a lot of stuff lined up that I want to work with and that I have to work with. So I'm going to do a chatty review, because at this point this is all I can do, and I'm so upset. Of the three videos that got lost, this is the one that made me the most upset, because I loved that video. I did makeup on camera, I had everything included, the swatches and everything, you know, my regular review style, but it was just so much fun, because it was like the day after, or like 2 days after, I fell in love with this formula. So it was like, and it got lost. Yeah, so happens, unfortunately, and it is what it is, but I don't want to just completely dismiss it, because this is something that you need to know about. Okay, so Makeup Maniacs Cosmetics is a US-based indie brand, and I have been following them from afar for quite some time, because it is, I also said that in one of my recent new makeup releases videos, that this brand has a pull. It has a pull to me. I don't know what it is, but something is super interesting about this brand. So when I saw this launch, and I'm going to show you in a second also, of course, the inside. When I saw this launch, I knew now the time has come to buy, you know? So I bought this on launch, which I think was the beginning of January 2021. I don't know exactly, or maybe it was the end of December. I have no idea anymore, but I bought this on launch, and they also included these two things. Now, I have already thrown out the sleeve, because usually when I film the review, I throw out the sleeve, you know, after I've finished filming. So that's why it's not there anymore, but it looked exactly like the palette, okay? And I think also the back was the same with the ingredients on it. So anyway, and then they also included, so kindly, thank you, the Color Bind. This is called a 2-in-1 lash glue and glitter adhesive eyeliner. Okay, this one I haven't tried yet, but I have tried this eyeliner. It's a felt tip eyeliner, which looks like this, super fine point and really, really nice. So I'm also going to talk about that, of course, because this is the first time actually that I tried a felt tip eyeliner in my life. Yeah, because I usually do gel eyeliners, you know, so I never had anything like this, and now I do. So I'm going to talk about this still. All right, so anyway, this look has not been done with this palette. Now let me just show you the palette, because I'm already now, I have moved on to other projects, you know, and that's what it is. So anyway, this is how the palette looks. This is how she looks. Okay. I fell in love with this color scheme immediately. You know, I just felt like this is so cute. You do have one pressed glitter here. Other than that, you have a lot of mattes and you have a lot of shimmers, and I'm just living for this. You know, the size of the palette, the layout of the palette, the execution of the palette, from what you think you're getting and what you're actually getting, I think it is super well done. You know, also of course the outer packaging, the whole design is so pretty and romantic, and it's just, you know, you get what you think you're getting, and that is really nice. Now, really, the only criticism I have of this palette is the quality of the packaging, because you can see that this here, it's just sort of flaking off, you know, and that was also on the outer sleeve. It was the same situation, and I just want to point that out, because if the brand owner is watching this, maybe I, as a brand owner, I would want to know, you know, that this is what happened, like after taking it out of the sleeve like 2 times, you know. So maybe one can just get in touch with the manufacturer or something and maybe do something about that. I personally don't care. I don't care, whatever, you know, but I'm sure other people would care. So anyway, that is what it is. So now you basically can just sign out, because you know already that I love the palette, but it is really a beautiful palette. Now let's just do some live swatches swatches because, you know, I'm not going to apply makeup on camera, so let's at least swatch on camera, okay? I will also still show you the 3 looks that I have done with the palette already, because the looks were beautiful. They were beautiful. They came out so well. It was a pleasure to work with this palette, you know? The second my brush touched the first shade on the first look, they hit me. They absolutely hit me. Okay, so this is an unprepared arm. I just did some skincare this morning, so it's basically there's nothing on it, okay? So let's just go row by row. Let's work our way from the lightest basically to the darkest, because more or less this is how it is arranged here. And there are actually also a little bit like surprises. I don't know if it's really surprises, but formula wise you will like this. So anyway, let's put on this first shade. This is the shade Sterling, and this is a little I think this is a special formula other than the other shimmer formulas in the palette. I could be wrong, but I feel like this is of course super foiled, as you can see, and I think it is though a little bit more flaky than the other ones. Not in a negative way, just so you know, okay? It performs a little bit differently than the other ones, and maybe you would want to have this on a glitter glue or on a sticky base or something like this. I also feel that maybe you want to apply this with a wet brush or a sprayed brush or whatever, you know? Doesn't mean that it doesn't perform well. You see, it performs super well, just that it sticks better, I think, if you either put it on with your finger or of course with a wet brush. Now let's go on to the next shade, which is a matte, which is called Skyfire. This is basically a peachy version of my skin tone. Maybe not. So anyway, but this is one of the shades that I blended out, or that I used to blend shades out with, because it is of course one of the lighter shades here, and I think this is super pretty together with the rest of the color scheme. While this is probably not a color that I'm going to use much on its own, you know, because kind of liking the drama, but this is a very nice soft and gentle shade, and of course also that can give you a super nice soft gentle look. Like for example, if you have this here on the lid and then this in the crease, you know, there you go, like super nice. Okay, then we're gonna go on to the next shade, which is the shade Angel, which looks like this. This leans a little bit more into the pink direction compared to the other one that leans a little bit more coral. So this is how it looks. It's also a matte, also that performed super well. I really don't have any complaints about the performance of the shadows at all, so I can take the anxiety away. It was really nice. Okay, the next shade is the shade Jet, which is like egg yolk. Is it egg yolk? Ochre kind of a shade, which looks like this. So yeah, that also, you would think that this is a little bit out of place in this palette, but it is not, you know, because again, with a shade like this and with the like silver leaning colors and grays in the palette, you can do so much. Also, I mean, you cannot really use it together with the blues because it would just turn muddy, but if you put something in between, you can totally do it, you know. For example, if you have a transition between this and then to this and then to a blue, that works, you know. So it totally makes sense. And also it's basically the what is it called? A torch, right? The torch here. So you do have actually all the colors that you have here, you also have in the palette, and that's just so nice. Okay, let's move on to the shade Icy, which is also kind of a light gray / silver shade, and this is more like a normal shimmer formula. This is how it looks. I feel that it is also kind of foiled, but it is not flaky. Flaky always sounds so negative. I don't want this. Please make sure to understand that I'm not trying to say that this is a bad shade. You know, flaky is just, it's just a different consistency than this. You know, this is more creamy, and this is kind of also, I just don't know how to explain it. But you see that there is a slight difference. This is a little bit darker. This is a little bit more shiny, kind of, you know. But anyway, so then let's go on to the shade Flutter. which is so pretty. This was the surprise in this palette because it kind of looks in the pan like a grayish kind of a shade, but it has a shift to it. So this is a duochrome, and this has a shift like I don't know, a subdued lavender kind of a shift. It's beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous. Like really, you know. I also blended out, for example, I blended out this purple here with this shade that I just showed you, that I just swatched, and it is magical. It's absolutely magical. Yeah, so anyway, let's move on to the next shade. That is Fable, and that is a matte again. This is now a light purple, which is also, just imagine these two, the shade Fable that I'm now swatching and the shade that we just swatched before, that duochrome, together. What kind of a soft, beautiful look this could get, you know, if you're more into like the softness. And sometimes I am too, you know, sometimes I need it soft, sometimes I, like most of the time I don't. But anyway, so yeah, I have days like that too. Okay, then the next shade is the shade Untold. And this is like granite kind of a shade. I don't know. Did you know that I'm actually really bad at explaining colors? Did you know? Have you been here for a while? Then you know. So anyway, swatching, it swatches amazing. This, I would say, is also a duochrome kind of a shade, but I'm not 100% sure. But you see how this swatched. It is so beautiful. It is kind of like a really dark, cold gray. But if you ask me, there's also a hint of blue in it. You know? So anyway, that's just how I see it, but you might see it differently. Okay, so these were the first two rows. Let me just clean my finger again. And let's go into the next two rows. Now we're getting to the pinks. Now, sweeties, if I'm ever getting around to doing my favorite pinks from different brands and different palettes, then these are definitely going to be there, because the next 4 shades are different shades of pinks slash fuchsia kind of, you know, which is... Oh, lovely. So lovely. So the next shade is the shade Dancer. I'm gonna put it right here. Oh yeah. This is, you know, I should tell you, my first look I did on the morning of Valentine's Day. This was the first look I did with that palette, and I went on a date with my husband on that day, and I felt so pretty. Felt so pretty. It's such a gorgeous palette. Like, sweeties, seriously, don't sleep on that brand. Okay, then the next one, this one reminds me of one of the shades in the Sweet Pinks palette from Juvia's Place. This is so bright and so gorgeous. This is the shade Twirl. This is like a real hot pink, you know, like, wow. So gorgeous. Eyeshadow everywhere. Yeah, so this is how it looks. Of course, I'm going to show you all of this also close up at the end when I'm finished swatching. Then the next shade is another shimmer, and that is the shade Whisper, and that is a bit of a more sophisticated pink. It is less bright, it's less flashy, a little bit darker, a little bit more, yeah, sophisticated, I think, you know? I think it's also a super pretty shade. So gorgeous. All right, so now we're gonna move on to a matte, and that's the shade Secrets. And sorry, I'm just always wiping my hands in between the swatches. Okay, so that's the shade Secrets. It's a matte, and this is kind of a fuchsia shade, I would say. These pinks though, sweeties, like really. Why? Yeah, so this is how it looks. I think that is also such a gorgeous shade. Just imagine the looks you can do, you know, with something like this. I mean, I don't even need lighter mattes to blend out dark shades. Like, also for today, I didn't blend this out with anything, you know. But you even, like, if this scares you, you have so many options here to blend this out with, you know. So this is so cool. Now, last row, the shade Velvet. Sweeties, do you need the perfect purple in your life? Like a nice, true, cold purple? Then, you know, you might want to consider this one. It is gorgeous. A gorgeous purple. Like, really. And also this has a bit of a blue shift if you ask me. And maybe you do ask me because you're here. Okay, next one, the shade Marvel is a blue matte, and it's kind of a medium blue. It's the lighter blue of the two that we have in the palette. That's the shade Marvel. We're almost done already. Who would have thought that I would get to the point where I actually like to do live swatches on camera? Do you remember in the beginning of my channel how I was struggling with the swatching? It was such a freak show every single time. I just couldn't do it, you know? Yeah, so yeah, it is a journey. It is definitely a journey. And also I at some point figured out that I just have very dry skin, and if I don't do skincare, everything looks like a massacre on my arm, you know? So anyway, this is the shade Marvel. Now the next one, let me just get a brush, because the next one is a pressed glitter. That is the only pressed glitter that we have in the palette, and that's the shade Surreal. And I'm going to put this on. Of course, you saw I have nothing on my arm, so I'm going to just put that on like this without anything. So pressed glitter, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I also have to say about the performance of this, it was really, really good. I think I used it in one look, definitely. I don't know if I used it in more. I think I just used it in one. Okay, but you see it is super opaque. It is not a mess or anything when you apply it. You of course also have to just use the right tools, you know? If you have the right brush for this, then it will just be, I don't know, how does one say that? Gold in your hands? Or something. You can see this also has a shift to it. It shifts between dark blue and like a teal turquoise kind of a shade. It is really, really beautiful. Super foiled. I just don't get when people don't like pressed glitters. It's so beautiful. But anyway, you do you. Okay, the next shade and also the last shade is of course a dark blue, and that is the shade Imagine. This is how it looks. Now let's put that here. This one has a bit of a tiny little bit of a drier feel to it, but here you have it. So anyway, this is how it is, and all of them performed super, super well. I did not come across, and I tried all of these shades, you know, to different extents, you know, not everything on a huge surface, but I tried all of them and everything worked super well on me. Okay, now I work with a sticky base. I work with the what is it again? Wait, this is the Sigma eyeshadow primer in Ignite. That is what I'm using most of the time because it's my favorite eyeshadow primer as of right now, and it just works really, really well for me. And this is how it looks without a primer. You know, this is how it looks without a sticky base. Just saying, you know? Yeah. Okay, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to, of course, include a swatch video close up so you can see it a little bit closer. Right after that, you will see the looks that I have done with the palette, and then we'll meet here again for a short summary and like finishing up this video. So stay tuned. I'll be right back. Okay, my lovelies, now we're back, of course, and usually I would zoom you in and show you the finished look, but of course I told you already that this is not that palette because I'm working on a different palette right now. Okay, sweeties, now this is what it looks, as you just saw, and this is the palette we're talking about. I think that this was love on first sight. Love on first sight, and does one say love on or love at? I think it's love at first. I don't know. You make it right in your imagination. Okay, so anyway, I have to say, well, on Valentine's Day, when I did my first look with this, I actually went and contacted Maniacs Cosmetics because I just needed to tell them. I don't know. I felt like maybe they care. And they apparently do, because they're actually super, super nice, and they answered me immediately. And I was like, can I sign up for a code or something? Because definitely this brand is so me. It is so, so me that I can definitely put my name on this, you know? So yeah, so they gave me a code, which you will find in the description box down below. It is affiliated though, so if you don't want to use it, totally understand, whatever you want. But I think you also saw in the pictures and in the everything that this is a good performance. I'm not making this up, you know? So this is amazing. This was amazing. And like on the same day, I ordered also the Goddess, what is it? Green Goddess 3 palette that has just launched. And also a super, super special highlighter, which is going to be featured here too. So I am a fan. Definitely a fan of Maniacs Cosmetics, and I had a feeling that it would be like that. Yeah, but anyway, okay, we spoke about the packaging. It's cardboard packaging. This is maybe something what could improve, you know, but besides that, it is a very, very beautiful packaging, also artwork wise and everything. Then you do have a mirror, you do have, of course, the ingredients on the back, and you do have shade names that are really, really nice together with the whole theme of the palette. Now, shade range wise, I already spoke about this. There's a really, really nice range from light to dark here in case you do need lighter shades, or you also want once in a while to do a lighter look that is not like heavy like this, you know. You can absolutely do this with this palette, and it's beautiful performance all around. Also the binder and the pressed glitter, I think you saw that it really performed well, and this is also how it performed on the eyes. I never use a glitter glue on my eyes because for me it just brings creasing and a mess. I don't need this. As long as it's pressed glitter, I just use it the way it is, and for me that works the best. I think I used it on the base of one of the mattes. I don't remember exactly which one I used underneath, but that is usually what I do to get more opacity. But even if you don't, I mean, you see how opaque this is, you know. It's not like you have holes in this, so you don't even need to put anything underneath. Just saying that basically I set my sticky base with a matte and put this on top, and it still worked perfectly. Just saying, okay? So yeah, so that is what it was. I didn't experience anything like creasing or fading or anything like this. I think there was a tiny little bit amount of staining, but it is not really staining. It was just a hint, you know. I think maybe with this shade, can't really tell you anymore because now it's already weeks ago that I worked with this palette. So there might have been, I just don't want to say there wasn't because I'm not 100% sure anymore, but it was not severe or anything, you know. Also, me personally, I don't care. I absolutely don't care. Whatever, you know, I'm really like a battle axe when it comes to stuff like this. Okay, so what would I change? I would change absolutely nothing about this palette besides maybe the packaging. But again, that is just because if I would have customers, I would think that they would mind. I personally don't. I don't care. Yeah, so that is that. Yeah, and it was just absolutely beautiful. Blendability, everything was just really, really beautiful in this palette. The texture is smooth and nice and kind of buttery and really, really nice. So yeah, maybe with the exception of this shade that felt a little bit drier, but still the performance was really, really good. Okay, so that was that. I think this was a whole super, super success, and I'm still so upset that I lost the original review video, seriously. Okay, now let's talk about this one. I used this for the first time in the review video, and I'm again super, super upset that you didn't get to see it. But yeah, so I'm actually using this now also, and also what I said in the review video is that I will probably always go back to my gel eyeliner. Right now I'm using the one from Inglot. It's just the black gel eyeliner because there is nothing, in my personal opinion, there is nothing that can beat the opacity of a gel eyeliner, and I like it if it is like super stark, crass black on my eyes if I'm using a black eyeliner. Now, though, I'm still using this every single day in order to do the wing because this beats this by 100 million times when you think you want to work accurately. You know what I mean. You know, you want to be precise, and you cannot ever be as precise with this as with this. Now, I'm not 16 anymore, you know, I kind of have to sort of hold my skin a little bit, not because it's tugging, just because this is what it is when you age. You know, that's what it is. But I think this is a super good performance. It performs, if you ask me, better on mattes. So that's why I actually have it, like, I love it to use it here, because usually I have mattes here. So I create my wing and then I basically fill out the rest with my gel eyeliner, and it just blends super nicely together. It is a very good performing felt tip eyeliner, you know. Though I have to say that I just don't have a lot of experience, so I cannot compare it with anything else, so take it with a grain of salt if I say this, because this is the first one, as I already told you, that I've tried. But I'm kind of hooked now, you know, because really creating a wing with this is so much easier, it's so much faster also, you know. But still, for the rest, especially when you're working with pressed glitters, I would always go to a gel eyeliner, because it's so opaque, so opaque. And especially this one, this is probably the most opaque one, the one from England that I mentioned, that I have used so far in my gel eyeliner. So okay, so that's besides the point, because today's video is of course about Makeup Maniacs Cosmetics. So yeah, that is amazing, and I cannot wait to get my Green Goddess palette, because you know, Leorah in greens is like, yeah, there isn't anything else. There is nothing that fits between me and green, you know? So it's actually the Leorah is the Green Goddess palette. They just forgot to print it on the package. Alright, sweeties, this is it for today. Again, I'm sorry that I lost my review material, and I hope that this one is going to be successful instead. And I tried my best. I did put in the work. It's not that I'm trying to like have an easy way out, but you know, it's like, I don't know, sometimes stuff happens, and it happens to everybody once in a while. So yeah, anyway, this is what it is. If you like my vibe and if you want to see more content, then please browse around on my channel and see if you like it. And of course, please subscribe and turn on the notification bell, because I'm uploading quite a few videos here, and I would be so sad if you would miss them. So that is that. Besides that, of course, you will find all my discount codes that I have with different brands in the description box down below. Also, of course, everything that I've worn on my face today. And besides that, definitely check out Makeup Maniacs Cosmetics. It's a beautiful brand, super nice, according to me. Okay, so yeah, that is it for today. I'm gonna go now. I have to calm down because I'm really excited about this. So yeah, anyway, this is it for today. Please come back for my next video, which is gonna be super soon. And up until then, definitely go ahead and sparkle. Hugs and kisses. Bye.